Welcome guys to the new video. Today I will do my best to make it easier for new Enduro riders to enter Enduro world and enjoy Enduro riding. Before I start with the explanation, I must say that you have a lot of useful videos on my channel. How to learn new techniques, how to adjust the bike for your riding style, how to increase your confidence. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave comment below the video. I will be happy to help you. The first thing I would suggest to a new Enduro rider is to look for new Enduro friends, to be able to ride with them, because Enduro is a very dangerous sport and injuries can easily occur. In total, I do not suggest Enduro riding alone in forests. Of course, I also sometimes go into the forest alone. But then I try not to take risks because if something happens to me or if the bike breaks down, then I have a big problem. How to explain to someone exactly where I am, and they need a lot of time to get to me. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, so it's always better to have friends while riding in forests. Another great advantage when you go for a ride with an already Enduro rider who has been riding for years. You have a lot to learn from him. First of all, we can start by getting to know the trails in the forest, where you can ride, where there are dangerous sections. The forest is full of secrets. Sometimes for years you ride along a beautiful trail and you don't know it's close, and you just need someone to show you the entrance to that trail. With friends, your knowledge of the forest will progress faster and you will learn a lot more terrain in less time. As a beginner, you do not have much knowledge of riding techniques. With your friends, you can learn how to control the bike in slippery sections of the forest and much more. They can also give you a lot of advice on how to ride, because sometimes with less aggression on the gas you can climb an obstacle easier. A lot of the useful tips you can get from them, like which tires to use for your terrain, on how much pressure you need fill your tires. You really need a lot of advice when you are a beginner. You don't need to be ashamed of it, because we've all been through it and we always go through it. We humans are learning while we are living, and that's normal. If you don't have Enduro friends, try to find them. You can try it on Facebook when you type in Enduro in your place. You can also ask around the city if anyone is riding Enduro. Most Enduro riders are very kind and will be happy to meet you. We are simply good people. Before you start on serious action in the woods, I advise you to take your time and inspect your bike. It doesn't matter if your bike is used or if it is new. The bike needs to be inspected. All the bolts needs to be tightened and checked. And the handlebar position needs to be adjusted to suit you and your riding. You also need to adjust the suspension to your weight. Of course, before you do all this you need to have some knowledge. You can ask help of a mechanic or your bike dealer. Since we have already started talking about the bike, I suggest you get to know it as much as you can. Sit on bike and try to move your body as far forward as you can. Then go as far back as possible with your body. Do the same in the standing position. Go as far back and forward as possible. Once you have mastered this and have balance on the bike, try it all the same now, but also pull the clutch and press rear brake. With this exercise you get to know your bike and get a feel for it. One big thing I don't like about Enduro riders, a lot of them don't use protection for their body. Mostly the excuses are we ride slowly and carefully and we don't need that. The others complain that their protection bothers them while riding and that it interferes with them. It makes them cringe too much, it is too big, and so on. These are all stupid excuses that will come to problems later. It's only a matter of time. I know many people who have had a knee injury due to Enduro riding. Most of the falls occurred at low speeds, but they managed to injure the knee by twisting knee during the fall. The knee injuries are common in Enduro sport. I suggest you find good knee pads. They don't have to be too expensive to start with, but make sure they're comfortable and you won't feel them while riding, which is the most important thing. Don't immediately go buy the best and most expensive because they may not be for you. Take some time and explore what would suit you best. I currently use knee pads. What I paid €100 and I am very satisfied, and I had the professional knee braces which cost about €500. And while riding I feel the same in the expensive and cheap knee pads. Of course, the more expensive ones provide much greater protection. But these cheap ones are also enough for a slower ride and smaller crashes. As for the chest guard, he is also very important because he protects your chest and back. There are several versions of this protection for Enduro, one that protects only the chest and back and the other is to protect the back. chest, and elbows. My advice to you is to buy yourself chest guard with elbow protection, and as you progress with the riding technique, to move on to just chest protection, because the protection that goes over your elbows makes you an arm pump, and your hands will hurt more with it than when you don't have it. Of course, without protection you are not safe from falling, but you cannot have protection and good blood circulation. My final advice is to use only a chest guard without protection on elbows, but after few months of riding, when you have much better bike control. I hope you will listen to me, because injuries happen to everyone. Enduro is a great sport if you need to rest your brain from life's problems. Most of you want to progress to be a better rider, and with that you are fulfilled. This is a good topic because how to be motivated and stay motivated for Enduro. Often people after an injury, or if they can't overcome an obstacle, they get angry and want to leave this wonderful sport. I'll give you a couple of tips on how I've stayed this long in this Enduro riding. There is something to be learned from every mistake. Training is the key to success. After one Enduro race I realized that I do not know how to ride, and before that I was convinced that I am a very good rider and ready for racing. After seeing the results I realized I needed to work on my skills. By the way, if you want to do the same, on my channel there are many videos on how to perfect your Enduro technique to a higher level. I also don't suggest you do what you see in the video. Riding wheelies is very dangerous, especially if you are doing on the road. I also raced the biggest Enduro race in the world under the name Erzberg Rodeo in Austria. After this race I saw my places where I can improve my skills and started working to improve them. I started to train more balance riding and starting to climb up hills without any speed. With this I want to tell you that in order to stay interested and motivated for Enduro riding, you must always have some challenges. If you succeed in the challenge, you need to set a new one, and so you progress in every sense. Imagine Enduro as your daily life. In life you always have ups and downs. So in Enduro sometimes you will have the same bad day. It happens, you would most like to sell your bike and never sit on it again. I know a lot of people who have sold bikes a couple of times with the sentence that they will never go back to Enduro. But they keep coming back because they have a big love for Enduro. When you feel bad and angry, you need to think about all the good moments you had in the Enduro. How full you laughed, how happy you were when you learned something new. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video to the end. See you soon.